It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Biajili. How you doing?
Doing amazing. Yeah, so yesterday was my rest day, but I didn't wake up feeling so good. I think I was a bit under the weather. I just rested, slept in all day. I feel a little bit better today. I'm hoping that I don't overstress myself because I have quite a number of activities to do this week. But I'll just take it one day at a time and take my medications. And
fantastic. Well, I think you're usually more uppity than this, but
yeah,
face looks a bit.
I want to take it easy.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you.
How are you doing, Nima? How's everything?
God, today would have been my father's birthday.
Oh!
He never celebrated his birthdays while he was alive, so it's not something that I would even do happy birthday to him.
Oh, nice.
He's very conservative like that. My sister lost her mother-in-law yesterday.
Oh,
they are all in Kwara State, Ilori, for the burial. Our hearts are with you from the Akashata Kukia family. The son is, my sister married them. So my heart is with you, Keke. I'm sure that you're strengthened. I'm sure you can handle it. I'm hoping that I can arrange something and quickly travel for the final burial.
Okay. How are you doing, Mariam?
Doing fine.
I love your shoes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, cute.
Inside joke, we're laughing about something else.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. You know, the time I had talked about my son and how we were, navigating this parenting. And then I got quite a few messages, from our viewers. They are so lovely. Someone sent me like literature to go and read up on. Somebody gave me like a list of things that she does because her own children are older and some of the things that she's gone through. And I just want to say,
wow.
Viewers, you are just too much. Thank you so much. I heard you the other day mention, I was like, okay, I need to send these things to Mariah too. So
I certainly need some help because trust me, raising these kids that are preteen, they feel they're already teen. In fact, they feel like I'm 18, like I'm making decisions, thinking.
Especially these tall ones.
Yeah. They really don't talk to you.
Your height deceives them.
I'm telling you. I'm like, you're a kid. Just in case you forgot, you're a kid. Myself and my daughter just having head-to-head, but I've been hugging her, as you said. Hugging her while the house.
Yeah, there was something, one of the things that they mentioned, they said that boys appreciate like tangible help.
Right.
So I do it, but I've never, how you know something, you just sort of do it, but because this person mentioned it, I recognize, okay, so I'm working more on that. And she's so right. We bond on the fact that, I help him, especially recently with his projects. I'm helping him with this. He'll come back later and I'm like, thank you.
He'll respect you the more.
Yeah, fantastic. The issue I'm having in the house with my daughter is talk to me. She's talking to everybody else
except you.
Be in the help
Tell her how your day
and to show everybody knows it. Like we used to talk. We used to really talk. She used to tell me stuff. Yeah. And suddenly, because when she tells me certain things, so I talked to her teacher because, it's feedback from the mother.
Yeah. You can't keep secrets.
So I tell her teacher, the teacher takes action and she's upset with me.
You need to keep secrets.
She's mom.
She can't keep, no.
Right?
So that's where she has to be a parent. She's be a friend and parent.
Exactly.
Like, let the auntie do that side.
Exactly. So I'm like, listen, you can't tell me this kind of information and I'll keep it to myself. No way. I'm going to find out the teacher what happened.
The one that pains my kids the most is when I start, they're telling me something silently and I say, babes, hey, you must.
All right, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Federal government, our economic policies yielding fruit. APC opposition throw brickbats over Mina and Kano protests. Nigerians spend $40 billion on foreign education and health care. Ladi Adebutu, others charged with money laundering. Kogi money not missing, state government tells EFCC. Government to release food items from reserves to crash prices. And Alake is Africa's mining minister's chair. Okay, which story are we starting with?
The major headline. So the federal government yesterday painted a positive picture of the days ahead, a positive economic picture, and they said the policies of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president and his administration are yielding fruits. This was said by key members of the economic team, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, his budget and national planning counterpart, Atiku Bagudu, Central Bank of Nigeria, that's the CBN Governor, Layemi Kadoso, and Federal Inland Revenue Service Chairman, Mr. Zak Adedeji. They were the ones that said that there's an imminent drop in the high cost of living and inflation. And they said this when they appeared at the sectoral debate organized by the House of Representatives for the finance sector. This happened in Abuja. And he said that it was expected that we're supposed to have challenges with the withdrawal of subsidy. And if they had left it, it would have, led us to a path of economic disaster. So, but the president is committed to protecting the poorest and the vulnerable. And what they are planning to do now is to increase crude oil production, boost foreign exchange inflow. And he says where we are right now is better than where we were before the 29th of May 2023 and before the implementation of the 8-point agenda of the president started. We're in a very unstable place in the economy. But now, at that time, we had expenditure that was wasteful and unsustainable by way of subsidy. But now, after the removal of subsidy, we have been able to save some money into the federal account. We have been able to reduce the amount of fuel that was being smuggled, petrol that was being smuggled, and wasteful use of petrol and other things that we just need to be a little more patient, and we'll see how it's going to begin to impact positively on Nigerians.
Okay.
So I have the government to release food items from the reserves to crash prices. So the federal government, on the request of the president, set up a committee headed by the chief of staff to the president and the national security advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. They convened a meeting on the request of the president to address this issue. So some women in Mina had carried out a protest protesting the high cost of foodstuff across the state. This, of course, the governor has said was alleged by sabotage staged by some cartel, are accused of mopping up foodstuff in order to hike prices. I can attest to that because this is usually the season rice prices drop, but the increase is outrageous. I can't even sell, so I'm just looking up my production for now, yes. And it's across the state, but the government has assured that they would respond by releasing food from our reserves to address this issue, because, of course, the Kano State governor had also gone to meet the president on the talking about the issue of hunger in his own state. But after the meeting, the information and national orientation minister said food will be released from our national reserve to crash prices across board. This will be a welcome initiative. Ramadan is just down the corner. People are trying to buy, and of course, that will make prices go up again. But if we have this intervention, we can also see it. And Nigerians should please. There's no reason to hoard. These foods come with shelf life and they can expire on your hands.
Sure.
So I have the CBN governor, Dr. Yemi Cardoso, yesterday has listed overseas education by Nigerians, healthcare and personal travel allowances as some of the factors that's straining foreign exchange right now. He said that, according to him, $40 billion was spent on foreign education and medical tourism by Nigerians in 10 years. And then he said that the exchange rate is determined by the dynamics of supply and demand for product or service, similar to pricing cars or cows. He says that the value of dollar in Nigeria is determined by the balance of dollars entering the country and the demand for the dollars among Nigerians. He says that the growing number of Nigerians studying abroad is a major contributor to the Forex scarcity. He said in the 1980s and 90s, the need for US dollars for living expenses was minimal. However, data is showing that, okay, so he says we had the Nigerian students in 1998, we had 15,000 and over 71,000 in 2015. It says by 2018, this figure, according to the World Bank report, had reached 96,702 students. There's another report that projected the number of Nigerian students studying abroad to exceed over 100,000 by 2022. So the more of us that, travel abroad for education and need that Forex for it, the more it will impact our own exchange rate. Yes. There have been conversations about hairs that were being imported being one of the reasons, but we hear now is the major reasons are education and healthcare. So men just like to throw women under the bus.
The hairs, I can actually afford those.
Our individual
about the hairs. It's about them sending their children abroad and the healthcare they go for.
Our individual teams collectively brought us here.
We know.
School fees.
Everything foreign
fees,
costs money.
Healthcare,
Somebody is looking
and
for
just traveling.
$17,000 to pay our school fees in America right now. So these are
Of course, it's going to
all part of it. Anyway, I was going to take the story of the Solid Minerals Development Minister, Dele Alake, has said the era of carting away with Africa's minerals resources is over. He was unanimously elected to chair the African Mining Ministers Group under the African Mineral Strategy Group. The AMSG is a new mining pressure group established on the sidelines of the 30th edition of Investing in Africa, holding in Cape Town, South Africa. He said that Nigeria broke new grounds in the global mining industry on Monday, clinching the chairman of the newest mining pressure group in African minerals resources. He was unanimously elected, speaking, and he was saying specifically that those days of cutting away with our resources are over. The event heralded various countries in Africa. More than 15 countries have pledged support, with the list expected to grow under the Nigeria's leadership. I'd like to stress that they will definitely ensure that our resources are put to proper use going forward. Moving on quickly now to The Punch. Nigerians spend $98 billion on foreign trips and education in 10 years. This one says for $98 billion. The nation says $40 billion. Figures keeps jumping, depending on the papers you pick. FG vows end to insecurity as NAF unveils attack helicopters. Killer kidnappers free slain Kwara monarch's wife. 13 suspects nabbed. Dangote will list refinery fertilizer companies. Customs seized 854 million naira vehicles, others in January, says Nigerian Customs Service. Tinubu returns, orders emergency meeting on food crisis. Naira weakens at official market, banks sell $584 million. Okay, which story are we taking?
Okay, so I have the Tinubu vows to end insecurity as the Nigerian Air Force unveils attack helicopters. So it's an induction ceremony held at the 131 Engineering Group hangar, Nigerian Air Force Base, Makurdi. The president inducted two T-129 attack combat helicopters and one King Air Beechcraft 360-year mobility aircraft to use by the Nigerian Air Force. He was represented by the vice president, and he said that the acquisition of these helicopters and the induction symbolize the commitment of his administration to the nation's security. The story goes on and on about how many other aircrafts have been added and how this is, of course, targeted at bringing back security. They also acknowledge that the new platform would improve the Nigerian Air Force power in the ongoing war against terrorism. I'm really hopeful now. I'm hoping that, it also reduces the banditry and kidnapping.
Yes, so I have a story. I don't know if you remember, 1st of February in Kwara State, the assassination of Olukoro of Koro Kingdom, the Oba Olusegun Aremuko. He was gruesomely murdered in his palace, and then his wife, the Olori Iyabo Aremu, was abducted alongside her maid. They said when this happened, the police started, in the course of their investigation, quickly approved the deployment of police chopper for aerial surveillance, and that it went around to comb the forest between Kwara and Ekiti State. This investigation was a joint operation between the police, military, DSS, vigilante, and hunters. They tirelessly combed this forest, and it yielded positive results. So the Olori and her maid were rescued on the 5th of February because of this proper investigation, and that 13 suspects were also arrested by the police in the course of this investigation. They would now further question them, to find out, more details concerning this. So on the one hand, it brought about the death and the murder of the Oba, but thankfully, at least on the other hand, the Olori is safe and she is back home with her family in safely.
Okay, let's go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ikechukwu Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without one.
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said.
Yes, I have a story. The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, said yesterday that it was working with relevant security agencies to minimize the scourge of insecurity in the country through the elimination of illegal SIM cards. The collaboration of the agency, they said, is vital security agencies. With vital security agencies is because they want to tackle the rampaging incidents of kidnapping, banditry, and terrorism. The executive vice chairman of the NCC, Dr. Aminu Maida, was the one who told media executives in Abuja, and he said his vision was to put smiles on the faces of telecom consumers in Nigeria by making sure that they provide quality services, being offered by their service providers, as well as also increase investment and allied services in the country. And he says that to be able to reach that point, there must be transparency and accountability around billing systems and tariffs. And that's why they are working hard to simplify the tariffs and billing knowing that the telecom services have become very critical to the lives and well-being of Nigerians, and they are doing their best to make sure it works. I also know that they've been sending, the telecom companies have been sending messages so that we can have our NIN linked, and some offices are already receiving people who are linking their NIN. If you have not been able to do that, you may be cut off very soon from your network.
Okay. Moving on now to Daily Sun. Forex crisis, CBN blames foreign students' medical tourism. Cost of living, fresh palliatives coming, says federal government. FGAPC link protests in Niger and Kano to opposition. Few queues return in Lagos. Apprehension as hundreds of gunmen surround Niger communities. Kogi tackles EFCC over probe of ex-governor Yahaya Bello. I'm assuming you took that story. I was going to take it as a story. Food crisis, protesting in APC, politicizing hardship, says PDP. Okay, let's start with your friend Yahaya Bello.
So the Commissioner for Information in Kogi State, Kingsley Fanwo, on behalf of the state government in Kogi State, have decided to respond to the EFCC charging previously former governor, immediate past governor, English, of Kogi State. So they say that the EFCC they're being over desperate in attaching the governor to a charge they earlier brought before the Honorable Justice J.K. Omotosho of the Federal High Court, in which one Bello, Ali Bello, and Dauda Suleiman were already charged. EFCC amended the charge to include His Excellency Yahaya Bello, and they described this as desperate. They said that the EFCC also saying that the former governor is at large, is ridiculous, laughable, and portrays the agency as infested with persons whose intents disagree with the noble intention of the president to fight corruption. They said that the details of the charge included that the governor sort of took some money from the coffers of Kogi State. They are insisting that he couldn't because he had not resumed office as of September 2015, that they are alleging. At that time, Captain Idris Wada of PDP was governor of Kogi State at the material time that they are charging the former governor for. And so they think that the EFCC is being overzealous here. But I'd like to say this to the Commissioner for Information in Kogi State. Let the former governor and his lawyer, Abi, want to remove my people from work. If you not put up his defense. This matter has been on and on, but once you have an acquittal in court, it rests the issue completely. You keep playing part and face your work.
Okay. Daily Sun, any other person? Another story?
Yes, I have a story in Sun. Scary story. They said in what looks like, the Sun is reporting that in what looks like a declaration of war against the people, gunmen said to be numbering over 600 on motorcycles have surrounded some communities across 3 local government areas in Niger State. They said it has caused so much apprehension that, of course, the villagers are fleeing, the village for their safety. The affected communities are Ngunu and Pai in Manya local government, Pandogari in Rafi and Alawa, Shiruru local government area of the state. They said that the government said to be numbering over 600, riding about 300 motorcycles, have laid siege on the communities since Monday night. One of the sources even claims that some of the gunmen went away with about 40 villagers from Ngunu and Pai, including women and children, on Monday night, even as they maintained siege on the communities. Other sources are also saying that the government, their mission really is to avenge the killing of their leader, Ali Kachala, and 38 others a month ago. They had, come to dislodge the Joint Security Task Force that was stationed in Mongoro village, and that the leader and the 38 others met their Waterloo when they launched a deadly attack on the camp of the Joint Security Task Force with the aim of dislodging them. From the way it's reported, it's like an ongoing thing that right now these communities are surrounded by this government, looking for a way, to attack people in revenge for their leader being killed. Hey. I'd like to hear from government to see, what we're doing to counteract this immediately. I
have a sad story here. It said 3 persons lost their lives while 3 others injured were injured in an accident that involved a trailer loaded with cattle at the Gadabu flyover bridge in Jos, not local government area of Plateau State. They said the trailer was conveying cattle from far northern states heading to the southern part of Nigeria. And they said they had suspected the vehicle lost control at the overhead bridge and landed down around 2 a.m. with about 30 cows dead. Said some vigilantes in the area, Mr. Arinze and Combs Yunana, were the first people to come to rescue the survivors of the trailer accident, and they had taken those ones who were injured to Bigam Specialist Hospital for treatment. The accident, they said, happened around 2 a.m. While they rushed to the spot, they discovered that the trailers were carrying cows with people as well. And so they had to call the police at Gadabu police station to support. By the time they got there, 3 lifeless bodies, 3 people were injured. 1 had broken his leg and rushed to the hospital. But they really do not have all the details from where they were headed to where they were going to. And they said by the time they get the details and also the people involved, they will publicize.
Right, this is an interesting story I saw here at the Sun. The Day Trade Union Congress and the Food, Beverages and Tobacco Senior Staff Association held a peaceful protest in front of NAFDAC. You have that story?
Yes, go ahead.
So
you have the story
so go ahead. The protest took place in front of NAFDAC's office. So what happened was that the government had stopped and banned the sachets, the alcoholic sachets, saying that because it was blocking drainages and all the gutters, and saying that if you ban these, the production, the manufacturing of these things, you're going to be laying off thousands of workers. And this economic hardship right now cannot retain that kind of pressure. It's already stretched, having to lay off these amounts of workforce. So TUC was insisting that some of the people earn their livelihood and feed their family through these factories, and it was wrong for because Lagos State has given a directive for them to shut down, for them to put these people back on the street, on the job market. And totally, so the vice president said that many companies, yes, but they're now saying that they're bringing it out to Lagos. And they're saying that you want to lay off thousands of workers into the labor market that is already overstretched. What do you expect them to feed on? So he's saying that you can't say that these alcoholic sachets are the sole contributors to the blockages we're looking for. They're not saying that.
Part of it. And now they've been having a meeting for over a year, and they made them a promise that they were going to stop producing those sachets by the
2018 actually.
Yes, by the end of, they gave them till 2023, December 2023, and they still continued. So they had enough time to change the modality. Nobody said do not produce anymore, but you can change the sachets. You can make them into plastics that are biodegradable. Abiyanti?
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah. But they didn't do that.
They didn't do that.
But TUC is now saying labor is in their job.
We can't be going forward and coming back.
To jump on the wagon of our health and our planet.
True.
You guys should understand. If they understand that, and when they sit at the table, they understand they are meant to be part
environmental
of the
people.
Sadly, the Food and Beverages Association and Tobacco Senior Staff Association were part of this protest, and they should be the ones suggesting healthier alternatives to the
Okay, Vanguard, our final paper protest. Okay, we talked about that. Oh, that's the major headline here. Okay, that's fine. Stabilizing Naira task for all Nigerians, says Cardoso. Petrol queues emerge in Lagos and environs. Insecurity, Tinubu orders security agencies to curb criminal activities. Kogi tackles EFCC over 80 billion naira fraud charges against ex-governor Bello. Labour protest at NAFDAC over ban on alcoholic beverages and sachets. Edo Guba respect zoning principle, Obaseki Oshomole told. And kidnapping, police nab suspected octogenarian kingpin over Ikitikwara killings. What?
I have petrol queues yesterday emerged in Lagos and environs as many motorists and other users make frantic efforts to buy products. I saw the queues myself. Of course, a lot of people said they first noticed it on Monday. Anyway, Ipman is saying the national president of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, Abubakar Meganda, says that his members have not been able to lift products for days, and it has to do with he says, but we don't have any supply issues. So the local elections that happened over the weekend affected the distribution of some of the products during that time, so they were unable to get to some places. So that's why we have these shortages. But this is something we have on ground, and now that it's the new week, we'll see this product. So there's no scarcity, there's no shortage. it was just a distribution issue as a result of the elections that happened over the weekend.
Any other story before we wrap up? Okay, all right, that's take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Gbenga Adeyinka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Benga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the questions.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata bata, I go drink. So,
Okay. So now one chance for Inter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this because I have this question for you. Final question: Where outside Nigeria and what year? Think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink. I don't
overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink them.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catwalk now. Where are we?
No, that's not catwalking.
That's
good
walking.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the one who can make time stand still forever, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abi.
It was great.
Okay,
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Oh, go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I'll drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Kelechi Amadi. No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I'll drink.
Huh?
No problem.
Okay.
I've always known it as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym is. Tell me the brand of camera that I use, so much so that I even became an ambassador. That's very easy. It's out there.
It's supposed to be,
Yeah. I just said, let me give you this one as a token of my appreciation.
Sony.
Drink!
I'm not done. You did not say final answer.
It's final answer.
You did not ask me if that was my final
You don't
answer.
have any choice again. It's only
Nikon.
how many cameras do they have? My
Nikon.
friend to drink. I gave you a very easy something.
Nikon now.
Thanks for staying with us. So on the papers this morning, we read where the governor of the central bank was telling us that Nigerians have spent $40 billion. That's according to the Nation. But according to the Punch, it was $98 billion in the last 10 years on health care and education abroad. and travel abroad. I remember that last year, a few years ago, when some very prominent women traveled to Dubai or different countries, and were saying, why are you carrying the conference to a different country? Because that's you exporting the dollars, you know. So these are the conversations we're having. That, what are your thoughts on this? We spent $40 billion minimum in the last 10 years for healthcare, travel, and school fees. As I also said, I know somebody right now looking for $17,000 to pay school fees. She just got admission into university in the US, and she's trying to get the money. What are your thoughts on this? How do we Nigerians adjust? Because he's suggesting that we are part of the problem. We are also part of the issue we're having with the dollar problem. So there is the technical part of it, and there's the human decision part of it, where it's based on what we do. What are your thoughts? You can call us on 081-0764-1679, 0902-4163-440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Entertainment _. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Okay, would like to, Miriam, want to start?
Okay, well, I think we have always known that all of us, one way or the other, have contributed to what we're facing right now with the devaluation of our currency. And, but I think a lot of us also were not aware of how it impacted it directly. And that's why it's good to have conversations like this. You come and explain to people. So now, sitting down, I can, on a piece of paper, look at some of the things that I buy and realize this is the part that I'm playing. So it's good that he's mentioned it. You know, many other times that it's come up, is like we're pointing fingers at each other. Oh, you're the one, you buy hair, you travel, you do this. But we're saying everyone in one way or the other, some more than others. Now, concerning education that he's talked about, it's true. There are more people who are putting, before it used to be, what rich people would do, those who could afford it. But now, even those who cannot afford it are trying to put money together to make sure that they send their children abroad. But why are they doing so? It's because of the state of our education here in Nigeria. Many people who would have... there was one time on the show I mentioned that I went to school with the president's son in my class, the vice president's son was a senator's children, all in a regular Nigerian university. But a lot of people said it's not like that anymore. They've all sent their children abroad. It was because the school at that time provided good education, enough for them to carry their certificate anywhere in the world. But today, it's either they're on strike for many years or, one thing or the other. The education has fallen, the quality of education has fallen considerably over time. So in dealing with that, yes, we would have to curb our appetites, but also government has to play the role of making sure that schools are better here in the country so that Nigerians can spend their monies here. Concerning healthcare, now... We'll
come back to that. Let me take it.
Are we taking one after?
One after we don't finish.
Break it down, yes.
So let me come to you, BC.
Yeah, so I like how you went into the root cause of the issue. Sometimes we like to pick on the symptoms of the issue, and everybody's talking and blaming, passing the buck here and there. But when you now want to solve the problem, if you take it from the top, like the icing on the cake, you haven't really solved it. It will manifest in another way. So if you say, okay, let's not do it this way, that same energy will be used for something else. And that's why we say we must nip it. We must go to the root of the issue. Now, what is the root of the problem? Initially, when this travel thing started and, having to send your children to school, it was like a form of class, a status symbol. So you send your children abroad, and by the time they come back, they have acquired the accent. And because we naturally are a people who do not remember or know their identity, we fall in love with things that appear foreign. And so when they come in, they get the best jobs. They have the better opportunities. When they carry that accent into offices, they are given preferential treatment. And then the child of the poor person who is looking, who has been here...
The accent or certificate?
All of them. Plus accent, plus certificate. Everybody just wants to give you that, oh, she just came back, he just came back. And then the poor person will look around and say, I want to be able to go through life not struggling as such. And I will do whatever it takes to ensure that I give my children the best. And so they save up, they borrow to send their own children to school so that when they come back as well, they would have that form of... So it came from a place of trying to survive because of what the society has led us into. And now we are seeing the ripple effect on everything across Nigeria, and we need to have a rethink. And this rethinking would also start from a place of modeling. I always push it back to the government. If you say as a civil servant or as a public servant who has decided to come and lead, you want to lead us into our El Dorado, and you say, because I have chosen to lead you, I'm going to set this example to tell you that we must begin to be patriotic in our country. And I will start with myself. All my children will attend the schools here. My medical care, I will do it here. The things that I need to eat, I will buy it here. The clothes that I need to wear, I will buy it here. To show you that we can develop our own, it will take away the pressure of poor people trying to put themselves in a certain environment to get what they want. Because now they know that even the president uses this hospital, or the vice president uses this hospital. Who am I? What am I looking for out there? For them to use this hospital, they trust the hospital and they will equip the hospital. Why am I wasting my money? Let me use this. I always give examples of other countries. I don't see their presidents, their vice presidents, their senators traveling outside their country for medical care or outside their country for other things that we go outside for. We can all work together. But if you start with the example, you will help the poor people. Sometimes it's not funny for people to be begging money for family members because they want to send their children abroad.
All right. Let me come to you, Nima. And when I hear, we all know the problem. I don't want to even repeat the problem because we know. We have issues with our educational system, or we can even say perceived issues, because some would argue that, listen, it's the same Nigerians that enter these universities that had their first degree here, that are going abroad, they come in, take one exam, and they get their certification. So there's still a foundation you get. Fashola has come here several times and said, I am 100% Nigerian raised, I went to school here, I did everything here. So sometimes we either underrate what we have or make it, and there's assumption, oh, it has to be foreign. But the truth is that maybe, what is in your own view, what's your own picture? How do you see this fact that we spent $40 billion in last 10 years?
So I kind of agree with BC and Miriam that spoke earlier, and on certain issues that they highlighted. And I will be looking at it from which way forward, knowing we know these problems. But we, like BC said, we didn't necessarily start going to schools abroad because Nigerian education was substandard. No, that wasn't the truth. It was because, for class reasons, peer pressure, status, people went abroad. People consume foreign rice, even though we have farmers who are struggling to sell their own then until the past administration decided to lock borders. Some people never tasted what local rice was. They didn't even know the health benefits. We were foreign. The minister was talking about, the amount of dollars used for education. He has not talked the clothes. If you know how many Muslim women wear Turkey materials, it turns me somehow. But I'm forced to wear them sometimes when I'm being styled. If you check when I'm making my own clothes, they're usually made with local fabrics and local tailors I have around. That's where I patronize. But the amount, each time you want to buy foreign-looking clothes like that, they are so ridiculous. And people constantly travel. In fact, one of my friends, she's supposed to style me, say, no, I don't want to give you all. I'm going to travel. So we always consume foreign. It is a hydra-headed issue. It touches on everything that concerns a lifestyle in Nigeria, and it's a problem. It is our individual tastes that collectively brought us here in every single thing, including tomato paste. Every single thing that brought us here that we need dollar for. Even if you insist that it's for business, what are you bringing in? You know, if you insist that it's for pharmaceuticals, what are you bringing in? The sad part is that they will bring in substandards. Some people call it drop shipping. They go to China. Every of the Chinese products that I have bought in my full life has backfired. In fact, there's one now. It's not Juizinwe. Their blenders, nothing. But we have paid foreign exchange for these substandard products we can't even regulate. So the problems are too wide to sit here and talk about. It's which way forward. When will the Nigerians say, let me
go on a break, because I like that question, which way forward, because then it suggests the issues of patriotism. Do we sacrifice, or do we say, you know what, hey, I have a foreign taste, I'm sorry, I'm not going to sacrifice. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right.
This is 7 of 7. My name is OJ, and signing a sobriety into my hands tonight on this social experiment called the 7 of 7 is Owen G. What is the name, or what was the name? You see, I want to make them better now.
Rockheart.
No, of the goats when they brought it on stage.
The name of that goat.
Yeah.
We should go there.
No, that one easy now.
I'm just drinking this so that I can ask him my own questions. It's not because of
Buga.
he didn't get it. You know, people you know. Okay. Mention 10 female stand-up comedians in Nigeria. See, just mention their stage name. If you annoy me, you will mention their real names and the year they started. And if you annoy me further, you mention the names of their husbands and the names of their children. Try me now. Okay, mention their name.
No, let's just.
No, wait. No, don't. No. Name, real name, stage name, husband name, children name. 10 of them.
Even the 10. That's a lot.
Eh?
That's a lot.
Did I cut your question?
Thanks for staying with us. So, Nima asked the question, which way forward? And the truth is that, as I said, we all know the problems. We all know the issues, how we've all in different ways contributed to the issue of the dollar. Yes, no doubt about it. Now, it is February 2024, and we have dollar at over 1,400 naira to the dollar, naira 1,400 to the naira, and that's the reality of today. Now, what kind of decisions do we begin to make to help Cardoso and all the other federal governments to strengthen, also help ourselves to strengthen our naira, because we have to play a part in this. We were saying during the break that we have appetite for foreign things. As I always use sausages and bacon, because the easiest way. I love sausages. I love bacon. My kids are used to eating cereal in the morning. I bring them from the US and I keep them in my freezer. Now it's over. I have to order. Now, how do we begin to retrain our appetite for so many things? Turkey. You want to do, your father is 80th birthday, and you're thinking of, I have to go to Austria to fly in the lace. People go to Austria to fly in lace, to bring in all sorts of millions. Somebody was doing birthday, it was $1,000 each. That's the reality. So Cardoso is telling us now, this is what the issue we're having. Your own party is in May, or your party is in July, and you want to order dollar Ashwebi for September party. Cardoso is not telling us that, don't order, because we are trying to curb our use of dollar. Is that the reality today?
There's also a problem in anybody trying to change it with the way this classism thing works. For instance, you do your wedding now and you say, Glo did it, Adenoga of Glo, when his mother died. That was the first time I saw in Nigeria. He said that the burial Ashwebi is Ankara. If you wear it, in green, you don't wear it, don't come. And everybody went.
Before it wasn't.
Everybody, no, they will do whatever.
Lace,
okay, lace. It was lace.
Swiss.
So he did the Ankara thing, and it was groundbreaking. Everybody started to manage, think it was okay. But it was for the lower people to do Ankara as Ashwebi then. Before then, I had a friend who was not even of their level. All of us, we bought that lace. So back in the university, it was 10,000 on my savings.
And that was a lot of money.
You know, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. You know, so and we don't have these industries plenty. So there's a government side to all of this. Availability of local options must be plenty. We are selling local rice.
But where local options is not up to standard,
is either you use it the way it is or you fast from it.
Mary, I'm over to you.
Okay, the reason why I said over to me was I had this serious craving for chocolate, and I as a good Nigerian, I went to source for Nigerian chocolate, and it tasted horrible. It tasted
the
bad.
Brand you tasted.
Yes, the brand. Okay, so the brand that I bought, quite a popular brand, tasted really bad. It didn't taste like food. So for me, it was not even that, oh, it didn't taste like the Oyinbo one. It's that it didn't taste healthy to me, you know. I didn't feel like I was eating food. So now I'm saying, you know what? I hear you people. I would try and curb my taste and go for Nigerian made, but not at the expense of my health. Not at the expense of my money just going to waste. I would want to put my money where it would really work for me. I'm not that patriotic to the point that I'm willing to just throw my money away for something that is not going to give me value. Do you understand? So it's not that I hate my country, it's that I want to spend my money on what it can give me better. I listen to Nigerian music. I wear Nigerian fabrics. You know, I consume Nigerian content on and entertainment and things like that. I used to listen to a lot of Oyinbo music and watch their whatever, but now, you know, and that is what I want for our country. But yes, we understand also it's a cycle. If I pay more into our Nigerian industries, they will do better. But I am also a struggling Nigerian, working hard for myself, for my health, for my family's health. What do you expect me to do? So this is where I guess many of us will now turn back to government and say, the investments, the monies that people are taking also to travel abroad, go for healthcare, to send your children abroad, invest it in the industries here in our country so that people like me who don't travel and do that, all the little things we can, you know, I'll put my little coins towards the products that we produce here.
Let me take Joe from Surulere. Thanks for calling, Joe.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
This issue is a very big problem. Very, very big. We are the ones crushing and destroying this country. And look at it this way. Nobody, most Nigerians now, most Nigerians now don't keep naira in their houses. It's dollars. Just take money, convert it to dollars, to keep it in your house. Tell me why Cameroon currency is more valuable than Nigerian currency. You bring Ghana here. What are they producing? What do they have? We are the ones doing it. Everybody is keeping dollars. If you go to steal money in billions, the next thing to do is to ask their boss to go to the market and go and change it. Any rate. They can't keep 6 billion or 10 billion in their houses. Imagine Ghana that is not up to the economy of Lagos. Telling you, or Cameroon people, why someone Cameroon another day was abusing Nigeria, look at their currency, look at their business. They don't produce anything, they don't have anything. We have to deal with these issues.
Yeah.
If
we didn't hear him very well, but he was talking about we have to deal with the issue.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Nigerians holding dollars, keeping dollars, if you want to save your money, you convert it to dollar because you think it's the value. And you continue to devalue the naira on your own to store your
let me
savings
answer him on that before going to what I wanted to say. One of the reasons people don't want to make money and lose it. Let's also think this through, right? Inflation is over 28%, if I'm correct. And the money you save in the bank in naira is every day depreciating. For instance, I'm a businesswoman. I have money in naira in the bank. One of the reasons I don't want to convert it to dollar is me just trying to be patriotic, but it's not paying me, because the next time you buy this product, you come back, I'm going to increase my price, because by the time I finish with the product and I go to restock, I'm using the profit I thought I made. I made a loss in January. I'm using the profit I thought I made as cost price. I'm not making anything. I have to pay rent. I have to pay other things. So people are saying, and for those people also who want to probably save their money through buying instruments like treasury bills, there are no interests that are meaningful. Government on one side is increasing the interest rates for them. So you can't even, they are not even helping you to save your money in naira. A lot of us want to be patriotic, but it's stifling us. Will I come and die for the nation? we need to just balance this out. I am not for buying dollars and keeping. I don't think
so. The response to that is that instead of you bringing a product from outside in, why don't we then find the local resources? So let us see if we can use banana to do hair. So I heard that there was a documentary that they can use local banana to make hair. So maybe we need to start investing inwards instead of bringing the products
the way
forward.
We need to invest inwards. We need to also ensure that we grow and support the people who are doing the businesses here. So I'm for Nigeria. I do most of my things in Nigeria. In fact, in my house, we've cut out a lot of things, sausages, and all. I buy them once in a while just to
we have Nigerian ones.
Happy. Yeah. The chicken we eat is Nigeria. The rice I've been buying from Nima for how many years now? So we do all of that. But I want to bust the bubble of the CBN governor, right? And I want us to use data and facts for this. If you check how many we are population-wise, we're over 200 million. What's the percentage of the people who have access to dollar? Most of Nigerians are below the poverty line. So while we're trying as much as possible to hold ourselves accountable, we're not the majority. The people who move this money, the people who are in government, who have access to these dollars for their ESTA codes and everything that they do, are in the majority. So let's not make it look like it's...
I disagree.
No, hold on now. Hold on.
Government is less than 0.0% of this 200 million.
The volume of the capital that they are using, are you comparing it to people who don't even have access to the dollar? The majority of Nigerians, remove the middle class who find dollar one way or the other. That's not what I'm talking about. We are going to hold ourselves accountable. We're agreeing to that, right? But that's not the major where the problem is really coming to. The money passes through the CBN. They understand where this money comes from. They understand. There was an analysis I saw where when they get their what's this thing the governors get every month?
ESTA code.
Security votes and all of that. They move it in and make their...
There was one governor that was arrested, allegedly.
So those ones have the volume of what we are talking about.
So
we need to also sort it from that
point taken. That's a point. Because let me just remind our viewers what BC was referring to. There was an allegation of a specific governor who converted his 4 billion security vote, security vote into dollars. Right, and so that's part of the volume she's talking about. Let me come to you.
A lot of them do that too.
I want to try to explain that.
I have a mic. I'm so sorry. He's been holding for a minute. Good morning, Mike. Thanks for calling. You're live. Oh, I'm so sorry for keeping you. Go ahead, Nima.
I want to try to make sense of the small percentage of people requiring dollar and how it trickles down. So this taste that we're talking about, takes away the hard work of the larger number of people. Let's go up north and compare the farmers. Nothing concerns farmer, concerns this thing. But when the farmer is trying to access fertilizers, for instance, government will say they gave it for free. A Nigerian will hold it. He will convert it for whatever reason to that dollar exchange value that is supposed to be internationally before he sells it. And the farmer that wants to sell his tomato maybe for 2 naira is forced to sell for 2,000 naira. Skyrockets inflation. This same set of people are the ones who control dollar. They come back to make it scarce in the sense that government can't access dollar to pay airlines. They can't, subsidize as much as they want certain sectors that are core to those people, especially health. God forbid you have a relative that falls ill. To access private health is wahala. It's only in Lagos State you can say public health health facilities are of international standards. Yet you meet Nigerians there who act as better human beings abroad when they are under NHS in the UK and act like they are monsters when they are under the Nigerian medical care. So these things come down. What's it concern you need Bolly with dollar? But once you ask her, why is this Bolly now 500 naira for one plant? The dollar don't go up. Because there's a way dollar comes down,
trickles down
to go into the transport sector, go into logistics for them, and even farming and seedlings for them. It is outrageous what these things bring to us. And I'm more than certain that the finance minister and the CBN governor have this data and facts. Right. It is when we will start the sacrifice that we should be talking about.
And the sacrifice should come from the top, right?
Yes.
Let me take the engineer. Exactly, engineer Ekundayo. That's the call. No,
we have started sacrificing already. Should I tell you all the things?
You can't measure your own sacrifice.
You can measure it too.
Let me take this call from engineer Ekundayo. Remove your wig first, then I'll start measuring. Good morning, engineer Ekundayo. You're live.
Yeah, good morning, Murayo.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, this issue of the dollar, the fall in the value of our naira.
Yeah.
recently, about 2-3 days ago, when the finance minister or the CBN governor, he appeared before the National Assembly. You know, he revealed that this present government made a bill of $7 billion. Now, out of that $7 billion, they found out that $2.4 billion was documented.
Yeah.
You know,
but
for the forensic audit that they did, which is a good step, that's the money that they pumped into the black market. And that is the reason why our naira keeps falling and the inflation in the country is rising and everybody is suffering for it. So really, I want the government to stand. I mean, I want them to stand on the truth and do the right thing. If you do the right thing, like those people that inflated the bill for Nigeria to the point of 2.46 billion, they are in central bank. They should be prosecuted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, manufacturing locally is not an easy, it doesn't happen overnight, because gradually we're beginning to see even some soap-making companies are leaving the country, and it's because many Nigerians are making soaps, and they are the smaller sachets, and even we're having, there are different reasons, but one of the reasons that we've recorded is the fact that there are lots of locally made soaps that are being used. So this is part of the things that we might not see them overnight, but gradually we begin to patronize those local soaps versus those that are foreign. I know that even foreign, the contraband soaps coming to the country, you're not supposed to be, all these your international bathing soaps, they're actually not, they're not legal, they're not allowed. So, but more people like you and I who are making local bathing soaps will begin to get more patronage, because now these foreign soaps are being, so eventually the government is doing their part to force us to look within. But we also must take the cue and begin to intentionally and patriotically choose locally. But what happens when the local is more expensive than the foreign?
I'm happy you took us there. Earlier, I ordered strawberries and grapes from Jos. An old schoolmate who's a farmer does that. And it took, to bring it to Lagos, it was almost twice the amount I paid for the products themselves. You know, I mean, for the produce itself, the strawberries and grapes. And I know that this is something that, you know, she struggles with. In fact, you know, after a while, she'll have to do like sales on things that, on the produce that have not yet been sold. Because how many people can pay that extra twice the amount of the produce just to transport it to them? So those are the issues, and that's where I want governments to look at. That's where we're now asking government, in what way are you going to provide palliatives, you know, for local producers, local farmers, so that, you know, we can spend our monies there. There used to be a time where when you go to stores, all you will see are all these things imported. But now, thankfully, you know, you get to see a few of them from farms from maybe the north. But when we're much, much younger, we used to have these stores. I've forgotten their names. I think they were like Kingsway or Chalarams or things like that. My mom used to mention them. She would say that, you know, they were mostly stocked with the things that were here.
The Ventis.
You know, they were here, they were produced here. But after a while, they left. There was a reason that they left, you know. The economy wasn't doing well. The political climate also was not conducive. So there are things that we have to look at those factors and see what are the reasons why Nigerians are not able to patronize locally produced products. If I go to get strawberries and grapes from one of these malls in the park, it's cheaper for me to buy that than to ask someone to get it for me from Jos. It's cheaper for me to buy that than for that farmer to put it on the road through the wahala of petrol scarcity or too much high petrol price, or bad roads, stopping the cars on before the thing gets here. Most of it has perished. So those are the things that we need to look at.
Let me take this caller.
Invest more in.
Ali from Abuja, thanks for calling. You're live.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Very well.
The problem of scarcity of naira in Nigeria is as a result. If you look at the last 5 to 10 years, everybody that had a public office Are you getting me? All the money they have started, what they do is that when they stole this money, they convert the money into naira. That is where the peso started coming onto dollar. When the CBN governor was mentioning the amount of money that was spent on health and education, he cannot quantify the amount of money that has been stolen by the public officer. Most of the governor, the minister, when they got this money, they convert it to dollar immediately and keep it in their house. That is why we are having a problem. Unless the Nigerian leader, they change their attitude from being corrupt and just taking the public money for granted, there's no how we can see to the end of this thing.
All right.
Look at what they said. There's a special committee that is going to speak today about the high cost of food living. What's the cost of the food living? It's because of the petroleum that was increased. It was because of the petroleum that was increased, and there's no how they can bring it. But if they can bring the price of petrol, let's say 300 naira per litre now.
Thank you very much, Ali.
There are a number of factors why local can be more expensive than foreign, and at the core of it is lack of power for industries to run, lack of proper roads, accessible roads. I have sworn never to pass through Agbara to Songo or Ifo after the last time, I think 2017, when I attempted to drive that road. And before I got out of the bad roads, I'd broken my fender, I have broken in fact, I just sat down and thought, and all the industries I grew up seeing here, what was government's plan? The lack of deliberateness towards certain sector is what is killing most industries. You will see them. We had our industrial estates growing up, the one in Isolo. Those areas had at least in the minimum 18 hours of power. Now, to run your business, you have to resort to generating your own power. The same diesel that you will use for a plant is about 1,200 per litre. Government has to be deliberate. In Kenya, when they wanted to do subsidy, they did not subsidize petrol. They subsidized diesel and kerosene. And the day I heard it, I was like, that means government's idea was the more production they have, the better. That the more luxury that people can drive around it. And so we must be deliberate here. Also, it doesn't mean that in the residential area that are not industrial, they should just take their power and give the other area. No. Government has to be deliberate. And governments of the past had this deliberate action. They built these areas so that companies could set up. If you went to Agbara, then there's no production of a company in this country that didn't have a branch in Agbara. And even where I live now, and power was core at it. Number two is cost of transportation. Miriam just mentioned it. Now, if you buy, I used to do, when I started rice, I started with 50 bags. It was cheaper to transport. And then I lost some money and thought, okay, let me just be doing 30 bags. I calculated the cost of transportation because I sit a bag as an individual when I'm bringing them. But if I were to do a truckload, it's cheaper. And so the person who is sending to Miriam, maybe one individual buyer, is in a fix because the cost of sending that thing to one person is higher than if she had a proper market, like the Kingsway she mentioned, who is collecting in bulk and making it accessible to more people. So we need government to deliberately look into manufacturing and logistics of most of these.
Let me take Ayodele's call. Thanks for calling, Ayodele. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Ladies, I'm interested in the topic about this foreign exchange. Our naira is falling every day. You see, the problem we are having is not a question of somebody studying overseas or not. People have been studying there for many, many ages. I studied there. It doesn't consume dollars. So those that are studying there are the sons of the rich people, the politicians. Those that are studying on poor people, they are studying there and working there. And they are using the foreign money they have there to do their studies. Studies going into, it doesn't come in at all. Doesn't come in. The only thing that can solve this problem is to abandon the black market. It's the only black market is worrying us in Nigeria.
Black market.
If it is, you went to London, You want to go and change your money, you change it the same rate anywhere for the government to change it. But our own here is not working that way.
Okay. Thank you very much, Zayolele. So I always like us. So let's just speculatively say that we have 3,000 politicians. Okay. Right? Each 3,000, they have 4 children. That's 12,000 people. So is it this 12,000 that spends $40 billion?
They go to the choice
for last. No, I'm just saying. Let us be realistic.
I'm helping you to be
12,000. These rich guys, they are the ones that spent $40 billion in the last 10 years.
They did not
of
spend
course not.
it alone.
So the point is that because the person I told you that is looking for $17,000, she doesn't have a father. She doesn't have a mother. She's working her way up. She's saving money for the past few years, putting together and converting. It's not just, it's always easier for us to think that it's only those 3,000 politicians that are doing it. Absolutely not. But the thousands of us.
I'm looking at the percentage and the choicest of schools they will go to, because that will also increase.
It's not about money, it's about what you have access to.
No. It also increases the, we know these choice schools have, their fees are higher than the regular schools abroad. That's the truth. So if we are, in terms of volume now, because we're looking at the amount of money that is spent, you see that those ones, they may be smaller in number, but they make up the majority in terms of the volume of the money that goes away.
Somebody gives me a specific date, I'm not going to believe that.
We are all speculating.
So we're speculating, but I want to let me just...
Let her finish on this point.
So we may be speculating, but I believe strongly, and I'm sure after the show, someone may be able to help us with, that the bulk of that money is spent by that very few. And that is what makes it even more of a problem. That very few number of people have access to that that amount of money, and they're spending it abroad. One politician, would be able to, you said one child, 4 children. He'll be able to take those 4 children there. Also travel abroad. Also wife will go abroad. Also, back and forth like that. They are also able to go back and forth many times. The other cadre that you were talking about, maybe the middle class, the child will go and will not come back until after 4 years.
Yes.
And as our caller said, sometimes you're working and also earning your money and using to pay. The truth is, why Nigerians always scream at government is that they are the ones that have access to most. When they say, oh, people are converting money to dollars, who are the people that have access to a lot of money like that? They are the ones. And they also understand how it works, when they are making money off Forex. They're the ones that benefit from it more than any of us.
They also have access to getting the money at the official rate. Me and you cannot go to bank now and say we are traveling and they will give us money. We will go and look for mala and buy it at the black market rate. So at the end of the day, it seems like they are ripping off the taxpayers and using it and that's the anger of many Nigerians. So we say we all want to cut down. Nobody wants to stress themselves looking for dollar here and there to get the basics of life. We want to be able to do things here, buy things here. I'm into production right now, and my Nigerian products are costlier than the foreign ones. And then somebody walks into my shop to say, I'd like to buy this your soap. I'd like to buy this your body oil. But I saw one that they are selling in so-and-so supermarket. It's cheaper now. I cannot, because the cost of the materials that I'm buying here is also imported because of the kind of product I want. And while I infuse it with a local product, I still have to import some things that we do not have. So this issue is deep. The appeal I want to give to Nigerians is, I know many economies like the Indian economy, the Chinese economy, one of the ways they grew was that they were patient with their own local manufacturers. We need to be patient.
And they shut out the international.
Yes, we need to be patient with. So if you buy a product, a locally made, we sew clothes here, locally made clothes here, right? And then you find that the tailor is struggling with measurements. It's for you to keep, giving feedback on, is there any way you can improve on your measurements? But we don't have the patience to because you bought the clothes, it's bad, you don't want to go back again. And you cancel out that person. Those people that grew their economy, they buy the shoe that you made.
They eat the chocolate, the horrible chocolate.
But we need to make sure it's healthy first.
Once it's healthy, once we know it's healthy,
we buy the shoe is bad. The shoe that's supposed to last you for 2 years, lasts you for only 6 months. You go back to the manufacturer, this is bad. Is there any way you can make it better so that at least
now you
need to be patient.
Let me take this call from Victoria. She's been holding for a while. Good morning, Victoria. You're live.
Hello.
Victoria, go ahead, please.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
Okay, yes. So I'm going to say, first of all, I agree with Mariah. Because the rich people, they are small proportion. And two, there's nothing wrong with our education, because education we are going to study outside, we pay for it, it is not free. And there are a lot of private schools with world-class education that they could send their children to. So it is a choice. Number three, we seem to underestimate the jackpot people. For the past 3 years, almost every one of us know at least most people that have jackpot through the education route. Not because they could afford it, they borrow money to go. So the middle class is actually contributing a lot more than the rich people. The rich people have their children in the very expensive schools in Nigeria. We all know that. If you want to see rich children. But for us, that we are struggling, because, of course, we want to have that, like I think someone said on your show, it's just to show that you have children abroad. A lot of them can't afford it. For people that can afford it, they would rather send their children to the very rich schools, and they would get the quality education that they want.
Thank you very much, Victoria.
It's in this our country that one president said, I only have a ranch, and I'm very Nigerian. But then all the children, and in fact, under his administration, all the ministers went to do even the vice president went to graduate their children vocation abroad. Oh. So it goes back to
everybody. But we have not answered one question.
It goes back to what there's a song that Fela sang, one of his songs, I think his Teacher Don't Teach Me Nonsense, where he says, you know, he starts from when the child goes to school, teacher teaches the child, lecturer teaches teacher teaches, then government is everybody's teacher. And then when government starts it, culture and tradition starts. That's how we got here. When government started to do, the average Nigerian before didn't even know that medical care abroad was an option, because some people did. My grandfather did not know plane until he went to Hajj. They don't know plane. But government people were the people, just as Miriam was trying to say, that can access these huge funds and this huge lifestyle. And before you know it, every middle class man now want to just go and come back, just get back. You know, I just went on a break.
All right.
It became a culture and tradition.
I went on vacation.
Everybody were doing
you see, like,
but how do we change it? We need to.
The reason why I don't want us to have the easy conversation of saying government, because that is the most, for me, listen, let me, I know. Because for me, it's a given. It's what we say all the time.
Should we ignore it?
But no, not ignore it. But I go to house parties or to church. How you do? She's abroad with the children. They say with such confidence and pride. Wait, I'm just saying.
It's so
the government parties, yes, they started it, is here. They've done it. We've crossed that bridge. Now we are here. All of us are doing it. Now, it's how do we move forward? So if we like, stay on this conversation with government. You can wait. So I'm saying that you go to church, you go to your house parties, and all the conversation, they abroad, my kid, my wife's are there, my wife and the children are there. Oh, really? When are they going? We're going next week. You know, it's such easy. So we normalized it. The point is that how do we move forward? We can sit down here and condemn government to tomorrow. But how do we move forward from where we are? Do we tell the woman whose mother is about to be 80 in September, the Swiss lace she has ordered from Swiss, from Switzerland or from Austria, she should cancel the order today because she's patriotic? Okay. Let us be realistic.
Okay, let me explain something to you. I think that we're also mixing up, which is in other climes, right? What we are calling the middle class. Don't worry, I'm getting us somewhere. People who work hard for their money, they spend their money anywhere, travel anywhere. The government is not supposed to be, the government is supposed to be the one that uses the money in their country. So the way we're doing it here in Nigeria, our government officials are sending their children abroad. They're the ones living the biggest lifestyle. In other climes, the government, when you are in government, you sacrifice. You are the one that has to give the example of my children are in my country, I'm eating this. The people, the middle class, they're the ones that have the control, to spend their money anyhow because they have worked for it. Here we're having government officials competing with Nigerians who are working legitimately. Thank you. So you'll be seeing people sending their children abroad and everything. Now you're in government. You have now decided to use Nigeria's money to get that lifestyle.
So I get it somewhere. I love that. So this man, no, we're having a conversation. We're trying to understand so Nigerians can understand. This guy, this government guy, you never owe bail, so You don't have, as in, you didn't produce anything, you didn't sell anything, you don't produce, you are
Like
just,
somebody,
you don't enter government.
like
now
that,
you have money, you enter first class, and your children. But this one is working hard.
Yes, for their money.
Can
I add something, Nima? Sorry, before you jump in. And there's a way government in other climes try to help their people to want to spend more inside. You know, the last guest we had here talked about an open market economy. That's what we are operating. You can now double on the taxes for you to buy those things that are imported, that your foreign taste, your money has to be very large. Exactly. You double it to make more money for for government. And then you don't stifle people. You don't tell people not to. If you want to and you can afford it and you can pay all the taxes and all the shipping rates and all that, go ahead.
It was Alibaba that told us that he had a friend that brought in a whole container of, is it whiskey or liquor, what it was, within a week. This same Niger that they said there's no money, that everybody is struggling for dollar, finished within a week. Who's to blame? Is it government? Who bought it? Is it only government politicians? Let us begin to curb and let us begin to curb and be intentional about our taste.
That made a strong point.
Cannot block some markets, so.
Let me pause you. I have Tokwe from Kano. Don't forget. Yeah, write it down. Tokwe from Kano, you're live. Oh, we lost her. I'm so sorry. Tokwe, are you there? Oh, yeah, you lost. So go ahead.
So this strong point Miriam made is the point itself, in the sense that as every administration comes in and they are cowards about changing this taste issue, they are cowards because even this present National Assembly, Senate and House of Assembly justified the foreign cars. Year on year. It's not us. It's in the budget. Somebody made it. They're not saying now, no. Stop. I know we've made, let's amend. Let's say no. Let's start to make it the in thing. To consume and buy Nigeria. No, they don't do that. They don't want to make it the in thing. They make excuses. Then we go to the same National Assembly to put down the issues. Everybody's saying, they shake their, you see the expressions, all sorts.
And like for all three different parties,
as soon as you finish talking, my child, I'm trying to get the dollar for your school fees abroad. Don't worry. Don't mind that minister. He was correct, but it's not from us it will start. That's why we're here.
That's where we are.
We're looking in the mirror, and this culture has eaten deep into us. Everybody is now saying, I cannot die for the country. Please, who do you want to die for? Which country will you die for? As we speak now, the lowest of the low, a Nigerian army official did a video saying 50,000 naira salary, I cannot afford 70,000 to visit my family. I'll go back to the bush. They've court-martialed that guy. But that's the reality of our quest for everything foreign, everything dollar. Those people who are dying for the country, they cannot afford, in fact, they cannot afford basics anymore. Talk less of luxury. But we will still say, no, it's not my turn to fast. Let them fast.
Let me take this call from Sarah, calling from Abule. But thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Social media.
Welcome to the show.
Please, I just want to come in the aspect of children going abroad to school. You understand? I want to talk the experience I had with my children. You understand? Some of the children that are traveling there, not that they have money to do that, but because of what they are going through in our country here, makes them to take the decision of going there to have a living. I don't want to tell you, I have a daughter that sat for exam 5 times trying to go to school. Even the last time she sat for that jam, the 5th year, I was actually begging her because she was crying. But seeing that she could not go through for one reason or the other, not that she's failing her jams, but because she could not even enter school, all her mates had graduated, she decided to go and do makeup, to learn makeup, and plan for herself to travel out. You understand? Seeing that she has made that move, we decided to support her as parents by selling my car. You understand? What point am I trying to make is that some of the children, some of us that our children are traveling over to that place, is not because we have money, but because of the problems that they are passing through in our country here. And that is why they are making that move. Imagine, I have a close sister that got there to Canada. On getting there, she was given a credit card
Immediately she got there, they made plans for her to pay her school fees, which is easy for her. Some of them go a long way to work, you understand, just to get that education they could not get from their country. And so some of the people that are there, they don't because they have money, but they need.
Thank you, Sarah. I mean, yes, when you go abroad like that, certainly, I mean, the money they are giving you, somebody's tax. It's citizens' tax that is benefiting. It's
money that they give you, you work.
You collect it, but some just say, well, it's still tax. But going back to the issue of education and healthcare, because I remember Aisha Sese was saying that thanking Nigerian doctors for saving her mother, I believe, when she was really critically ill in Sierra Leone at the time.
She was brought here.
And she was brought to Lassoth. To Lassoth, from Sierra Leone. Yes. As well. So they came in there. So he came to Adadevo's the hospital. Yes, first something.
First cardiology.
First cardiology, yes, in Kogi. So to some people, we have the quality hands here.
We do.
Our infrastructure may not be perfect. So I'm just saying that because we always put out this narrative that we have the worst hospital facilities, we have the worst education. I keep saying it. That these same people, because I know lots of Nigerians who are, I know a family, couple, husband and wife, they're both doctors in the US. And they are not just doctors. One is a radiologist, the other is a lymphologist. Now, these two are high-level doctors. They did their first degree here. They were practicing here. When they went there, they only had to do about 1 or 2 exams. Eventually, they started working. So it wasn't as if they had to go back to school. So the point I'm trying to make is that we have the foundation here, but we have sold the narrative that Nigerian education is so bad that everybody, even though you want to look for admission, you just say, let me just go abroad.
The narrative started from government pushing out the narrative that your education is for you. My kids is for foreign.
For better life.
It has been since time and it has become our culture. Now, there's a medical show they do on this kids' TV, on the cable channels. And one day I was watching, a child was on, what's it called, for kidney removal, dialysis.
Yeah, okay.
In one of the NHS hospitals there. His name was clearly a full Yoruba name and surname. So I was interested. I was saying to my children, I see Nigerian child on your kidney interview. And I sat with them to watch. And the child's mother was answering that, even though we are not, it's because of the insurance. They don't have insurance in our country. Government officials also go over there for a proper healthcare insurance, knowing healthcare is not cheap anyway.
At all.
Rather than putting that machinery here so that a person can be able... Do you know what dialysis is here? With this dollar increment, do you know what people now have to resort to? We are on groups donating money. Rather than having somebody say, okay, no, access here for healthcare insurance. This culture must start from government. Deliberately saying this is the new way forward. Every single official, this is the way forward. In fact, it should be an impeachable offense, a removal offense for any appointee of government.
But the government official can argue that before I came to government, I was earning my money.
Come to government.
So is it Papa Sigirika that will now become your governor? Okay, I'm asking you now.
Okay, no.
Because before, if I was educated...
Papa Sigirika was more honest.
Wait.
Patronize Nigeria with his full chest. Maybe without English in his mouth, he should be our governor.
Finish your thoughts. Let me respond to you.
Let Mariam jump in. I think I finished. My thought is that, which I've lost, but I'm trying to get it back.
Yeah, you were saying that if someone who is already making their money,
have
made their money,
exactly,
and they come into government.
So, for example, you made your money, and say, tomorrow you're a good person, Obiajulu, please become the governor of Edo State. And you're like, oh, sure, you're not getting into government, and because you've made your money, you're in government. They told you that your lovely Kaima, let her go to local school. They remove her from that private school. She must now enter public school. That university, she can't go abroad anymore because you are now in government.
Okay, let me tell you why that is not even a big deal and how it works in the other climes.
Yes.
When Trump became... When Trump became...
You like to choose other clients when it's convenient.
No, to just change. So that we can,
to
buttress, so that we can understand, to give us perspective. When Trump became president, he was going... and of course, he had to move to the White House. It was beneath what he had always, the sort of houses he had lived in. They went into the White House. They thought it was poor people's house because he's a billionaire, comes from billionaire family. So they had to do other things to, sort of shore it up. And then he would use, if his children had to go to school anywhere, he's able, because when you become president there, you're supposed to show what of course, Trump is not a very good example, but you're supposed to show what what your wealth is, your net worth is, you know, how much money you have. And then you're able to separate how much it is that you had and you're spending from government money. Remember, we heard from Michelle Obama that when they were president, they paid for their food. Yes. So this thing, okay, I was going to... Wait, let me say, I'm going back to the fact where you're saying that the conversation, the easy conversation here is about government. Yes. And I want to say that it is not. That is the main conversation. That is the serious conversation that we don't really look at. Yes. If a person coming into governance understands, if many Nigerians understand that it may require me to be less of myself, many Nigerians will not go in there. Won't go there. A lot of reasons why we have politicians killing themselves sometimes to get appointments, to get elected, is because they know that they can make much more than they already make. Why is corruption such a huge crime? It's because you sit down, all you have to have is a pen and paper, and you make yourself a millionaire. All you have to do is pen and paper. Meanwhile, somebody has woken up for the last 25 years, morning and night, hustling back and forth, putting their monies together. If you know that you go into government and all you have to do is spend the money that comes to you as salary or as your allowance, many people won't go in there because they'll rather use their efforts and their resources to make money for themselves. But now we're chopping Nigerians' money, enriching ourselves with it, and then we now sit back and now tell Nigerians, change your taste. Okay, when it's really about you. Stop stealing from Nigerians so that they can use their money and invest in the industries that will make their economy better and their naira stronger. Let
me take this call from Festus, call from K2. You're live.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am still on my point, too.
New person.
There are times where you talk, and there are times where you need action. Nigeria is not about grammar, it's about action. Let the government ban unnecessary importation. Why must we be importing toothpicks and all those related items? You know them. Something you can do without. Like that, going to China. Some people are specialized in importing fake goods with our own naira. You convert it to dollar and bring in, moribund goods. Why? Then the next thing is for government. I said it the other time when you invited one man here. I said they should withdraw the licenses of Bureau de Change and go and arrest all these malams. We should have only one exchange.
Okay, remember his
if we are not tough, I am telling you, we just be speaking grammar.
Thank you. Alfred, Bismarck, we want to address that thing. It's just said on the show yesterday. I watched it, so maybe you can watch that video. Go ahead.
Let me make it clear that if you want to be a leader and make an impact, you need to be able to feel the pains of the people. One of the reasons why we keep saying things over and over, and it seems like there is no movement in the right direction to sort out the problem, is because the leaders do not feel what we're feeling. They would feel it on paper. They will calculate the data. They will send people to the field, go and ask, how are they doing? Is this making impact and all of that? They are not experiencing it. And for you to make effective change in that area, you must feel it so that by the time they're complaining that the potholes are there, you have passed the pothole. It has damaged the, the bushing of your car. And you understand exactly what the Madam Sikira is talking about. Now, if you are someone who's inspired to lead and serve others, there's something about service that it has to do with humility. You cannot serve from a place of pride and aloofness. You must be humble. And that humility requires that there are some things that you must remove from your life. So if peradventure, you mentioned Kaima now, is in a very private school, and I decide to get into government. I have worked for my money. It's my money I've been using since. And I get into government. I will pull her away from that school and put her in a public school. I went to a public school. What's the difference? I won't even think about it 2 times because I know her destiny is not tied to the school. Now that she's in that school, I will not want her to stay at home for 2 months, 3 months, 5 months. I will insist that the lecturers are paid properly. I will insist that the school is equipped because now I have personal interest. What we see is that our leaders do not have personal interest. They will only talk so that people will hear what they say, but because they're not personally attached to it, We can only talk and you will not see the action. Now we want to get your attention home. Because when you have divided attention, you know how far you can get and how far you cannot get. We want your attention home, which means that the hospitals that Nima is using is where you are using. You know, that time when they send people to come and investigate the hospitals and everybody is quickly cleaning, the doctors are well behaved, the nurses, everybody is sitting up and all of that. You don't need to do that anymore because the governor can walk in any day.
Let me ask you a question.
To have medical care.
If government comes today and says, because you're an influencer, you're a TV presenter, and we want Nigerians to begin to change their thinking, we also want you to join the politicians in making the sacrifice. All your children should start using public schools. All our children should start, all of us start going to public hospitals. Would you agree?
If they show me an example that they have started, I will. Why not?
No. So
they have to start.
With the example of the chocolate, where I said, you know, I am not that patriotic that I would, you know, that I would put my life and my family's health in danger. If you ask me to put my children in the public school, are you doing the job of making sure that the money that is meant for schools, for training teachers, for building infrastructure is put there? It's not about just saying put my children there. Do you know what? The reason why our children are not in these schools is not because we just hate the way buildings look in Nigeria or the way Nigeria's teachers look or teach. It's because we know that we are not doing the best that we could have done in the health sector, I mean, in the education sector. Have you built us nice schools that were not there?
Exposure is your problem. Because you have watched DSTV and seen that, oh, those are beautiful schools. Wait now. No, exposure will be our problem.
No, not beautiful. How about the training? Okay, me that I went to ABU Zaria, is my university as beautiful as Harvard? So, whatever. But we went there, we got the education with all. I'm just saying that the quality of education, we have not invested in it.
We used to
have.
Okay, we used to. Okay, let me take this call. No, we have quality. If we don't have quality, Fashola will not be governor. Fashola will not be there.
Oh, this Fashola, please.
We will not. Okay, we still have people that. Me, I still have people that they just travel and they graduated first class. There was a first class graduate here. She came here and she has.
So in spite of what is happening in Nigeria, Nigerians are
Friday that comes to you, Nima. Good morning, Friday. Let's take a few comments on social media, ladies, please. Friday.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Mariah, good morning.
Morning, sir.
I beg, I'm one of your biggest fans. I do watch your show every time. I want
to
thank you for your efforts and everything that you people are doing.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mariah. Yeah, I want to thank you so very much.
We heard you. Go ahead.
You know, beautiful lady has been doing in this experience. You have been doing well. But one thing I wanted to contribute, you know, is solution to the problem. I don't think that I don't think my concern is, you know, as in Nigeria, the way solution to the solution to the.
Yeah, listen to the TV. That's why he's repeating himself. Come on, let me come to you, Nima.
You know, Nigerians.
Your mic. I'm told that your mic is off, I believe. Let's go on a short break. You want to shut your mic? Let's go on a short break. We'll come back. Nima can have mic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome to the show La General, the one and only Pere Egbe. Which of the following is false about teeth? We are born with 20 primary teeth. Teeth are the hardest substance in the body. Teeth are the strongest bones in the body.
Teeth is not a bone, actually.
Teeth can self-repair.
The strongest bone in the body, no. Teeth is not a bone.
Final answer?
Teeth is not a bone. You know what came to my head now? That sound. Crickets.
So, editor, you can put that cricket sound there. You can still put it down too.
When was the first Gulda ultimate search? Editor?
Don't put any cricket sound. I'm talking. Okay, Per. How many times has Ghana qualified for the World Cup?
5 times. Hey, you can't do that now.
That's what it is.
Wait. Calm down. Why are you like this?
This is your team.
Small play now.
They will not
Somebody cannot play with you again.
They will not be impressed though. The team that you're supporting. And
Ghana will be alright.
Yeah, that's last.
Charlie? Cheers, Charlie.
Thanks for staying with us. While we're preparing to take some tweets, let's take a comment from Nima.
Just before they took my voice. You know, when you mentioned the issue of, being compelled to go to public schools, I smiled. Because those of us who use public hospitals and public facilities see a different Nigerian when it is a government official, when it is a influencer that they know will do something. Imagine my child in a public school. It used to be the best public school because they know the kind of parrot we born out.
Yes.
I don't have any time to be anybody's friend. I will be casting all the secrets publicly. Teacher did not mark my child. Teacher has not resumed. Either they evil lie the child because his mother will not shut up. Which is like or they will now start to keep standard till this one just finish at 6 years. Do and go.
I have to call you. I have a call from Atlanta, Georgia. Latif, all these international calls. Let's be taking them quickly. Latif, that's international preference again. Good morning, Latif. You're live.
No, for you.
Yeah, how are you? How are you doing? Good morning.
Salam alaikum, I think.
Our problem for our leader, they are not giving a good example of life. In the foreign country, when you see their legislature like that, even in America, most of their government status, they use made in American goods. But our own, they will go to another place to go and. Hello, can you hear me?
It's a bit muffled. We can't hear you very well, but I think your point is that in the U.S., it's,
so the senators should be members of the House of Representatives and General Assembly. They should take the things at the house. But I mean, another thing is that our citizens, our place for work is just too much. They all want something from foreign. And this dollar that we are talking about, somebody took it from the central bank, meant for something. If that thing is not being attended to, we should do something.
Thank you very much, Latif. Let's give you comments on social media. Let's involve me.
I have this message on WhatsApp. She said, my dad was commissioner for education in Old Oyo State. My younger sister did not go to Form 1, that's just one, until second term. She stayed home for 1 term because my mom wanted her to attend a private school, and my dad said no. That as a public officer, she has to go to either Queen's College or any other public school. The poor girl stayed home, and my father got her a private tutor for that term till she got admitted into the public schools. Sacrifice. It was not uncommon those days. We have the example.
That's what we're going to Nima. That's what we're going to sacrifice. Yeah. When I was asking that question, what do we do? What's the way forward? So but you said that government should do the sacrifice. That we the people, we that work hard for our money, we shouldn't do.
We come back. We will eventually get there. I've said, Fela called it culture and tradition. And it starts from government.
So government should sacrifice first.
Say the Lagos State now, you're not wearing Nigeria. It's not council women that made it a fancy thing. That, they did a full year. Sewing Adire in so many corporate styles. Now, even I have Adire, I'm looking at corporate styles to make out of it.
Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you why we'll go back to it. I know that a lot of people in Lagos, for instance, want their children to go to the public schools. They hustle for it.
Private schools.
Public schools. No, I'm talking about the general. No, I'm not talking about people who have plenty money, right? I'm talking about the average, like the few women I've spoken to are hustling to get their children into the public schools, secondary schools in Lagos State because of the advancement that they've been making in the educational system. So they are seeing the effects of, the results of all the things they are doing and changing in Lagos State. And that's like the first option that you have. They are writing exams for unity schools and all of that, and the kind of schools too, right? Now, people will see the changes that happen. The problem is that we like to rush people to doing what we want them to do when we have not laid the foundation. When the ministers and the commissioners and the governors and president and all of that put their children into the schools, and because now they have personal interests, the schools begin to do well. Nobody would advise you when you're comparing how much do I want to pay in that school and compared to even in that public school. Do you know that the commissioner's child is there? Even in this place, do you know that the governor's child is there? Nobody would advise Nigerians.
We'll put our children.
We'll put our children there.
Who align.
Yes.
Who align. So the thing is, set the example. It's like how you are raising children and you are modeling. You are not telling them so much or pushing them to do what you want them to do, but they are seeing you. By the time they start aligning, you are thinking, maybe it's the prayer I pray. No, it's the example that they have been imbibing. They've been seeing you. It's been seeping into their consciousness. And human beings, we like head mentality, right? One of the reasons why we are going the way we are going is because everybody makes it trendy to go abroad. Yeah. Everybody makes it trendy to wear the nice outfits from Turkey and all those places. By the time we start doing our own thing, it becomes trendy, and everybody will fall in line. And then it solves the problem.
Let me take Theophilus from Macaulay, then I'll come to you, Mariam. Theophilus, you're live. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Yeah, I must confess, when I see smart ladies like this discussing, I know this country has a future. We have hope. It's just that now, out of the smart people that we know, like all of you now, you are not giving birth to plenty people, so the children you are going to raise are few. The idiots out there, they are outbreeding us. You will, any of your neighbor that is poor, you will recognize that they have much more children than you. Now, out of the few smart ones that would agree to give birth in this country, 90% of their children will be abroad. So what does that give us? We have multitude of idiots walking about here. The smart ones are abroad. The smart ones like you that are supposed to raise plenty children, you will born very few.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing. Did he? I'm also sure if you use the word idiot. You're not supposed to use the word idiot on national television. I couldn't hear him properly, but I'm sorry about that, Mr. Theophilus.
Yes, so for me, we're talking about the way forward and sacrifice. So, okay, the way I see it, I draw, drawings in my head, sacrifice with government officials, where they agree to put their children in schools, use the facilities here in Nigeria, our healthcare system here in Nigeria. It will send the right message, as we have all said here. Then, for those Nigerians who feel they have made their money, they worked hard for their money, please allow me to spend how I want to. There are two things. It's either they also join in sacrificing for patriotic reason, or government decides to make money off their taste. Okay. You tax them well, twice the amount, 3 times the amount, 5 times the amount, to see how you can discourage them. If they say, we don't care, we are billionaires, we can spend the money, you make the money off that. And then what you don't do, or what you should do, is take that money you have made off those Nigerians that are insisting on their taste and invest it in the industries and the sectors that you want to see compete with the foreign ones. So you invest in our textile, you invest in our healthcare, you invest in our education. And what will eventually happen for this group of Nigerians with this taste, they'll now recognize what I'm buying in Sokoto is right here in my trousers, And that's how the system is supposed to work. Where we've had issue is that when that money is taxed, then government that has access to these, to these funds will use pen and paper and get it and use it for themselves. So that's why we have issues here. If we just follow the cycle the way it's meant to, we will not even be discussing this.
But
we'll not be talking about what is trending or what's not trending. Okay. People in government all over the world, or very rich people, have always sent their children to other countries to learn things. And then they come back with that knowledge, and they, it shows that you have money, it shows that you have exposure. You come back with this extra knowledge and help your country with it. Right. So there's nothing wrong with those tastes, but that taste must make money for your country.
Okay, point taken. Let me take Yusuf. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, quite an interesting topic that we're discussing here. One major challenge that we're having in terms of dollar dominating naira. One, if I can afford, as an average Nigerian,
I can afford to send my children to private school. I'll go extra mile and take them abroad. For what reason? And the reason is not far-fetched. You spend expensively to send your children to private school here in Nigeria. They come out, there is no employment. But there are opportunities out there. So most people that are struggling to take their children abroad, it's not for just belonging to that class, but just the unemployment rate in the country is high. You have a graduate, at home roaming about the street, no work. So let's check unemployment rate in the country. Then besides that,
so Yusuf is trying to tell us that it's not only about also expensive taste, it's also about survival.
Yeah.
So if you are able to deal with taste and also the reason why people have to, put all their monies together to run, you have to make sure that people...
Go ahead, Emma.
Immaculate Boy says, Mr. Cardoso telling us to help Naira. The suits, the tie, shoe he wore yesterday, are they made in Nigeria? His son schooled in the UK too. APC primaries in 2022, that's where what were the delegates paid in? Naira or dollar? Leadership is by example.
See, I like that example because one of the things I want us to achieve from this conversation is bring this thing home, because we've not answered that auntie that wants to do her mother's party in Switzerland, in Swiss. Because we only have a few minutes left. So you are the governor. So what do we Nigerians expect you to do? So we've talked about removing your children from private schools. Yeah. You want to do a birthday party, what do? The suit you're wearing, the clothes you're wearing, the perfume, you travel. We need Nigerians.
Let me tell you what our First Lady can do.
Okay.
Ma, I know it may not even be her fashion thing, but if she carries that Nigerian brand fashion, whatever, and she wears it, it's a big tool. Mariam Babangida revolutionized the love for Nigerian styles and Nigerian fabric. So that is what we should do for people who have those kind of platforms. You may not want to do anything, but if you do that, every time they see you in a Nigerian designer, or if you even want to make it Ankara, something that is cheaper, so there are more Nigerians, you show how you can wear it. And when we see our First Lady looking beautiful in our local fabric, Somba, local tailor-on, yeah. Do you understand?
So it would help when we go for your meetings and all of that. Please serve mekere, serve kuli-kuli, locally made snacks. They should not find any basmati rice in the Aso Villa.
Even their furniture. I remember Dino Melaya giving us his furniture from Italy or something. They bring in all these
bad examples.
Istanbul furniture.
No way.
Do you know his company?
Use Nigeria.
I don't know.
Is he producing sugar or cement?
Well, he has foreign. I think he has foreign investments. That's
so Nigerian money that we've turned to Forex and using abroad to make money.
Let's use. Let me take this one. Says our governors are playing ostrich when it comes to actualization of better life for Nigerians. They collect 250 million naira monthly, which is 108 billion annually. When you times it by 36 states of the federating units for security votes, while claiming that they are not in charge of their state's security. They hijack local government councils, killing primary and secondary school education, causing over 22 million kids that are now out of school. Yeah. They're creating a fertile ground for recruitment of kids into different terrorist groups like Boko Haram and all of that.
Okay, so we have to run.
And conflicts, illegal mining and all of that.
We have to run. So, for example, Governor Sanwo-Olu right now is watching TV, where he can say, look, your suit, change it to Ankara suit. Your pants.
It looks better than
I don't think so. I don't think he lost the body for Agbada.
No, which body? Have you seen it?
Sanwo-Olu.
He looks like a Yoruba demon.
He doesn't have the body for Agbada. I'm telling you. Have you seen a Nigerian, a proper Nigerian?
He looks like a Yoruba demon.
He's not chiseled anyway. No, not Agbada, you carry it. No, our muscles. Our governor is a bit slim, so the Agbada he's like resting there.
I disagree with you.
He's flowing.
No, so it's not belly that Agbada.
No, Agbada he's always lost in the Agbada. Have you seen which governor that's? Have you seen?
You're looking at
ready. It's when you start, you enter with Agbada. Looking here as the brother just walked in. Have you seen my husband in Agbada? Have you seen Brown in Agbada?
You're not comparing your husband to
Brown enters the room, yes, a human being just entered.
Yes.
Valentine is coming. This comment needs a serious.
Anyways, so someone should wear Ankara jackets and everything.
No, you can wear Agbada. He looks really good. I like him.
But the Agbada is Swiss. It's still Swiss. Hello.
Yeah.
It's still foreign.
Yes.
It's still foreign.
We have that shaky with Nigerian materials now. It's how we are sewing it.
We have to run. That is all we can take on today's show. But bottom line, I think I have agreed with the ladies that the example must start from government. I'm not one to always blame government because I try to always see things from their own perspective. But yeah, this one for dollar, let government start. When you start it, it becomes a culture that we imbibe, and then everybody starts to do that. All right, let's wrap up the show.